Hello and welcome back. This is video number 6 of the Junk Journal, a remote workshop. If you've been following from the other videos, you should have your journal assembled and all of your pages should be gessoed. I have 2 free hands today because I have my daughter Olivia assisting me here in the recording. So yay, this is impossible to do if you don't have a free hand. We're going to keep this really simple. This particular step is very random. Don't overthink it. All we're trying to do is get some color on the pages and maybe add some marks. So I would go to your paints and pick 2 to 3 colors that you like. We're going to actually put these in separate layers, so just pick a few colors. You don't have to worry about them turning into mud because we're going to do them separately to keep things simple. I picked these 3. I'm actually thinking maybe I should have a yellow in there instead. Let me grab a yellow. Let me see, what do we got in here? Oh, I kind of like that. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to do that instead. And then you're also going to want to have black and white. Now, you're going to be surprised because your pages are gessoed, you're not going to go through a ton of paint. So just, don't pour out half a bottle, but about that much should get you started. Oh, and this is a brand new bottle. Or we could reach behind you, Olivia, and get me the one that's already opened. Olivia!
No. Where?
Here, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you... So you can see I'm not putting out a lot of paint. I don't like to waste paint. So I start off with a little bit. These little cosmetic sponges, I think we talked about those in a previous session. These are really fabulous for this. I also like to spread my paint, so I tend to use these, which it's just a personal thing. These are perfectly fine. You'll love these. So you're just going to get a gob of paint, and you're going to just randomly wipe some of it onto your pages. Add a little white, and then you get some differences in the mix. Maybe a tiny dab of black. And you can see I'm just keeping it on one sponge. Very irregular. Not giving a lot of thought to it. You can even do that. Just want to get some paint on there. So you know why I needed your help recording? So Olivia, while we're doing this, why don't you talk to people? She's in the Junk Journal session before when we did this.
Hello, people. I did this once, and it was for a school project, which I got an A on. Not that you care, but there we go.
It was fabulous. It was fabulous.
And I did it on songs and stuff, so I made each song like a specific color. So yeah.
And that's what's so cool about this Junk Journal. Remember, it can be anything you want. Mine tended to be more artsy. Lots of paint, lots of stencils. We had other people in the class that did more writing. And so they added some more blank spaces to their pages. Now, one of the things, remember I told you before, we got to make sure these pages don't stick together. Same deal going on here. I'm being really sloppy with this paint. And if I'm not careful, these pages are all going to stick together. So be cognizant of that. And see, I'm even going to go just using my fingers here because that's a lot of fun, actually. I like that. Remember when y'all were in kindergarten, we used to do this? It was fun. Maybe y'all still do. Just get some paint on those pages, okay? See that? Ooh, it's looking cool. Like I said, none of this is going to stay. It's all going to get covered up. So just get it on there. So go ahead and finish up all of your pages just using that one color plus black and white. And then, you know, maybe fan them out a little bit so they dry. I'm going to cheat here, and I'm going to use my heat gun. The reason I'm wanting these to dry is that way we don't have to worry about the paint colors mixing and creating mud. Now, if you are a little bit more experienced with paint, feel free to do it a little bit different. But I'm doing this on a very basic level, assuming that most of us don't have a lot of experience in mixing colors. All right, so those are pretty dry. Now, I'm gonna come back in, same thing. I'm gonna take a second color though, plus the white. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Just randomly mark up the page. Add some white to that. And if you notice, I'm even using the same sponge. It doesn't really matter. You just want to get a little irregularities on here. But take a look at that. Can you see how this layers are starting to build up? It's kind of cool. Because you can still see even some of the print that's in here from the junk mail itself. If you don't even want to use another color, just by changing, you can change your one paint color by just adding more black and white, which is super cool too. Okay, so there we go with that. I'm going to flip over to these other pages. Have you got that in camera?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so keep using your sponges. This is just a personal thing with me. I like this guy. If you have like an old gift card, old credit cards, a lot of people use those to spread the paint. I like this because it goes really fast for me. I offered this tool to some of my students in that last class I did, and they struggled with it. They didn't like it. Olivia doesn't like it either, but it's my fave. So that's why we all do what speaks to us. Okay. See that? Can you get a look at that? See how we're seeing all of these previous layers underneath here? You can really, really just slap it on there. Use your fingers. Another cool thing you might want to do, we're going to be doing more on textures later, but since I got like quite a bit of paint on there, this is just old bubble wrap. Look at that. Look how cool that is. This is all about texture and irregularities. Love that. Look at that. See, you just can't do that any other way. We're not even using paintbrushes in this project because it's just fingers and spatulas and that kind of stuff. You know, it's like I had some dry paint on my bubble wrap from a previous project, and that's now being kicked onto here, which gives you some really neat things, marks. Okay, so I'm not going to do the whole book here, just for time's sake. I'm going to dry this up. You guys, I love that. Now, this one's pretty dry. This one's still a little tacky. Some of the other things I really like to do to create marks is to just scribble on my pages. I've used a regular number 2 pencil. Just go ahead and scribble on here. That works really well. I've used a standard ballpoint pen before. Okay, you see that? Now, you can, you want to make sure that this is like permanent ink. So you don't want to use a rollerball ink unless you know for sure it's permanent. That would create some issues later. The other thing is, if you're using a pen or even a Sharpie, and you can kind of tell somebody did that with this one. Yep, somebody trashed my pen because they used it when the paint was still wet. I was going to say, you want to make sure that your paint is completely dry before you start putting your pens on here, or you're really going to ruin them. All right, so we're going to go ahead now, and I'm going to add a third color. Again, you don't have to do 3 colors if you don't want, but I think I'm going to. Can you see the ink on here?
Yep.
The inks and the pencils. And you can still see parts of it through there, though. Look at that.
We love that.
Isn't that cool? So you can get a lot of neat looks. And that's what I'm saying. All of this. Oh, no. We have a ghost down here in the basement. It keeps turning my light off. Oh.
We'll be right back after this short break. Okay, we're back.
I don't know if it's the bulb or if it's the outlet, but... just a little splattering of that yellow. I like that a lot. Okay. So go ahead now and go through all of your pages and just get some color on there. Nobody likes blank pages. It's too intimidating. And by just throwing some, Olivia, throwing some color in there, it gives you a really great start. All right, and I'll be back with you in a little bit, and we'll do our next video, number 7, which will be on stenciling.